Hey guys, what's up? This is Jhoosier, and we are sort of back with another episode of Empyrion Galactic Survival. This is not a playthrough or my let's play. It is actually more of a let's build some custom blocks, as it says on the tin. So I have to think long and hard about this because I am absolutely not good at explaining this sort of thing, and I hope that I do better than the first attempt. So if you're seeing this, then it is the one I released, and it must have been better than the terrible mess that I made last time. Anyway, so I get lost where I'm going. So we want to find out how to make some, I want to show you how to make some custom blocks. Like I made the ScriptDeconstructor for the ASTIC scripting mod, where it would have a block to turn on that would consume energy, like a large amount of energy, as the deconstructor is run, and the deconstruction script is running to deconstruct a vessel or an entity, a ship or a base or something. So I at least have that. I have not yet figured out how to charge Pentaxid for it. That was something I would like to do, and I'm working on that. I'll also show you how I went about making the deep space radar, which is an idea I stole from Star Salvage, the other scenario by I think it's Know It All DM, who was helpful in kind of explaining some things in the Discord for his scenario in the Empyrion Discord. Anyway, so how to get there, or how to do this. So in here we have our navigation pane. Let's turn that off. We don't need to see everything. And I should give another thanks, another shout out to friend of the channel TKC, who made this custom weapon for me and kind of got me thinking about other custom blocks that could be done, and inspired me to make it. And I used his information to like slap my little logo on the Wi-Fi connector one, so I could make my own icon for the ScriptDeconstructor. So yes, thank you very much to everyone who has provided input for this. I really appreciate it. It's been really helpful. So anyway, I have two files here. This is one is the ScriptDecon and one is the DSR, Deep Space Radar. And you can see over here in the right window here, Gotta remember how this is done. Yes. Does it show that? It doesn't show the cursor going around. I hope you can see the cursor kind of moving around things. There we go. Yeah, it does. It does now. Okay, so anyway, with ScriptDecon, there are, and with both of these, there are some files that you'll need to edit, and it depends on what scenario you're using. If you're using the regular Empyrion scenario, it's pretty easy to get access to that. You just go to the Empyrion directory, and then you go to the content, and you find these files. But if you're doing a scenario, you need to go to the scenario, which is in a different place, and you cannot see in the tooltip because that doesn't show up in OBS. So we're going to open File Explorer. I have a link directly to it, a shortcut. I use it often enough. So if we go up a bit, so you start off in your Steam library, you go to Steam Apps, Workshop, Content, and so 383120, that is the like the Steam ID code for Empyrion, and then we go to 25503, I believe. Yes, that's it. This one, 255-035-4956, that is the Steam ID code for Reforged Eden. And I think if you copy the link from like the Steam page, and it should or if you search for it in a browser, it should give you the number, that long number up there. If you've ever had to mess around with blueprints, moving blueprints around or anything like that, it's the same concept. So if you see any of the blueprints I have down in my description in my normal Let's Play, there is a long number afterwards, and that's the workshop ID code for it. Anyway, you go in here to content and then configuration, and there are some files here. You'll see I've got some that have a copy made, and I highly recommend that you make backups of your config files, because you might mess something up, and you might mess something up that you didn't realize you did, and it hoses your whole game. So being able to kind of revert back to a vanilla version of this would be really helpful. Anyway, the three files we need are blocksconfig, right, .ecf, the itemsconfig.ecf, and finally, if templates.ecf, and that's only if you want to be able to like construct the block. If you're going to just place the block, then I don't think you really need that. But if you want to be able to, I think, construct it and potentially deconstruct it, I'm not entirely sure, you need to edit this file. So let's look at what's in the file. Blocksconfig. So up here, I've got the blocksconfig file, and this is the kind of it shows you the block model and gives you kind of general information about the block in the game itself. And it took me a long time to figure this out, and NoItAllDM had a good explanation of it in the Star Salvage Discord when it was coming up with somebody trying to make their own deep space radar, as I was. We eventually got it working, and it was quite the triumph. It says the item determines what the device actually does, while the block determines the tooltip and block model. So that's what we're in now, is blocksconfig. So we're looking at the tooltip and the block model. So usually what you're going to do is go and stick your code for whatever you want down at the very bottom. So you can see here we've got a block name detector CVT3, okay, and then we have the other one, the block name ScriptDeconstructor. So those are the two that we're using. The detector CV tier 3 T3 is the deep space radar, and this is obviously ScriptDeconstructor. Now there is a bunch of other stuff here, and I recommend finding a block that does something that behaves in the way that you would like your block to behave. So for me, I started off in kind of a mess. I thought, well, it's a deconstructor block, so I copied the deconstructor information, which was, kind of a mess. Let's not make a mistake. Which was kind of a mess because it was the, it has an input and output, that sort of thing, and that's not really what I wanted. I just want something that turns on and turns off and consumes power. And I was talking with TKC about this, and they recommended the Wi-Fi. They used the Wi-Fi for their base block example that they were using with me, and I decided to go with that. So that's why it has this remote connector sort of information and uses the block model for that. Anyway, so you can see here, so if you want to do that, you can't see it here, but you hit Control F, and then you look for something. So for example, look up remote connector, and then you can search up for it. Here we go. So we find this one, block ID 1627, remote connection. So this is the Wi-Fi block. So basically, I copied this down and I pasted it down at the bottom, and then I changed the values that I needed to change for myself. So you can see here there's some basic information, and most of it should sort of make sense if you kind of think about it for a while. So marketplace, I changed the marketplace. I increased the price, not that it'll ever be sold or bought, but I set the material is set as a device, model entity shape. So I think model entity is opposed to like block, like as opposed to like a full block, it's a model, which means it's cut into the full square. So if you've ever dealt with like anything in Minecraft. So the Minecraft stuff has like a block it's the full square that occupies the space, and then if you do something like, I don't know, like a step in Minecraft, a step block, like that little cutout that changes it, so it's not exactly a block in that sense. I really need to stop making changes to my config files. Okay. The custom icon. So I have all of this already in this text file that I've made, and I highly recommend doing something similar so you have this to work with, and then you can kind of move it in, or if there's an update and it erases your stuff, then you can sort of go back and fix that. But anyway, yeah. So it tells me what I need to put into which file, like blocksconfig down here, templates.ecf. So yeah, the custom icon you might want to change. I don't know if I can make this available. I probably can, but I don't want to get on the wrong side of Empyrion and their copyright and using their material. So unless somebody tells me it's perfectly fine from Empyrion, then I'm just gonna let you guys kind of look at it. But feel free to use whatever you want. From this text, you might delete it or put something else there. You can create whatever you want. Also the models, so this is remote connection prefab, so you might want to put in a different model if you want your block to look differently. As well down here. God, I really stop messing around with things. Yeah, so let's see, max height. Yeah, down here, this is the stuff that kind of became useful. So energy in, so it takes 10,000 watts. So it tells you here the formatter. 10,000 watts, 10 kilowatts when it's running, and then when it's idle, it's taking 500 watts. It's got some hit points and mass, which is about the same as the Wi-Fi. I think I didn't change that, but the CPU in is 50,000. So I altered that value so that it would take up a significant chunk of CPU, and yeah, and so that would ideally make it less like, ubiquitous and more kind of a specialty thing. So maybe I should up it more, but we'll see. Anyway, and then down here you have unlock cost, unlock level. So how many points should it cost to unlock? What level should you be able to unlock it at? And then the tech tree, in what tech tree does it go under? So that's that. And that's the ScriptDeconstructor block. So if you're running that and in the ASTIC scripting mod, you feel like it should cost a little more when you're doing stuff, then please, by all means, copy this. I'll try to put this text in the description below. So go ahead, put this in, and yeah, use it and see if you like it. Look at the template now. So the template, I decided that I wanted it to be constructible in my single player game, and I wanted to make it cost something. So in the templates.ecf, the same thing. I just I found something, I think it was the deconstructor block this time, and I just copied it down here, copy pasted it down here, and then I changed things to what I wanted it to cost. So first off, you have to give it the name. So you give it the same name you gave it in the blocks config. Okay. Then in here, craft times, this tells you how long to craft it. Target, so what can it use? So as usual, the very top of the file usually has some basic information, which is useful. So you can see these are all the different types of constructors you can have it be constructed. You can use to construct it. So I chose large and advanced constructor only. Then we went with like steel plate. So these were kind of in there already, most of these, but you can kind of guess what the name is and Control F and search for different things. Like if you search for human or NPC, if you search for NPC, you'll find the human NPC blocks, to tell you that that's what the human blocks are, as opposed to like the alien NPC blocks, which is what the other ones are, the aliens. So yeah, so you can kind of use that to find what you want to put, and then that's it. Done. Okay. that is the script decon. Now let's look at the deep space radar, and this was a little trickier. So for this one, what I wound up doing was there we go. All right, here we go. So what I ended up doing was taking all of this for the block config, and I took this from the long range radar in Reforged Eden, which is here. It's called T2 Radar CV. So it's actually called Detector CV T2, CV, you know, and then tier 2. So you need to kind of go through and make sure that you change the appropriate spaces here so that it's clear what you're doing, right? So you can see like this, you know, I had to change some of these things. All right, so I hope you're kind of following with it. I don't have the info here. Oh yeah, the info is yeah, like this. Info: probe the sector like it's never been probed before. So weapon item detector CVT3 weapon. So you need to make sure you change that. So if you're using this on your own, you know, you need to change CVT3 to CVT2 to CVT3 or whatever it is. So we went with MarketPrice. I tried to use my own custom icon. It went with Antenna 05, and that didn't work very well because it's that giant model. And so I've since kind of gone back to using a different thing, but you can see that here. I went back to, oh yeah, CustomIcon. I had a DSR, Deep Space Radar. CustomIcon, yeah, CustomIcon. I think I was using Antenna 05. That other antenna, that's right. It's just the icon available that you see in like a inventory or something, or in the what's it called, weapons thing when you're piloting the CV. Okay, so anyway, you can see here there's different things: model, shape. I went with radar prefab this time because the Antenna 05 wasn't working properly for me. You can kind of leave most of the rest of this the same, right? If you're using the DSR, if you're going for a deep space radar sort of thing. Yeah, I changed the energy in. I bumped it up. I think it was 600 watts before. I increased it to 900 because I wanted it to, you know, be a bigger, stronger thing. The hit points changed, mass, volume, the range. So the range I bumped up from range here. So yeah, so the range is 8,000. Your range in space was 25,000, and CPU was 40,000. So we went a little differently. We wound up going with, yeah, the range was 50,000. The range in space was 250,000, and the CPU in was 80,000. That was the price. Then as well, and I think I didn't change this the last time, but the unlock cost should be 50. I set it as an end level, so level 25. And in the tech tree, you can choose like which tab it goes under. So this goes under capital vessel, and this one, tech tree parent, it is you know, it comes after the long range radar, which is detector CVT2. Okay, so you kind of have to work with that as well. So that tells us what the block looks like, and then the items config tells us what the block does. So you see there's available properties, some interesting information here, but what we do is we just drag it all the way down to the bottom, and here we are. So yeah, so the item ID is 4037. Again, we copied this from the long range radar, so, and then just changed the things that were required to change. So again, item 4037, the name is detector CVT3 weapon, mesh file, drop mesh file, category, custom icon here. Then we have, a class. So the child 0, child 1. So we see that the range here is 50,000, 250,000. Child 1 was a smaller one. I think this is on planets. So 12,000, 50,000. And yeah. And that's it. That is how you change the change the files to make your own things. If we go to the templates file here as well, you can see there's detector CVT3. There is all of these. It's only constructible in the advanced constructor, and then I basically just put a 0 on the end of all these for the most part. Although I probably need to have like more advanced upgrade kits when I make this next time. Did I change that one? Yeah, no, I didn't. So I'm thinking I probably should change that too. Okay. Yeah. So once you've kind of created these, you just go into your single player game, and like I said, I had been doing this before. I recorded one before, so I'll see if I can make it work, sort of. Okay, guys. Now we're in the creative world, and we're going to spawn in the life force adjudicator, and I'm going to just kind of show you from what we created how we get it to work. So we don't need that radar dish. That was just the deco radar block. Down here we have 2 blocks. We have the ScriptDeconstructor, and we have the deep space radar. You can see it's got the icons there. So let's go ahead and slap down this one. Okay. So you can see this is going to the devices section. This is the detector CV tier 3. Okay, and probe that sector. Apparently I misspelled something. Need to go fix that. But it shows us the energy in 900 watts, how much CPU it takes, 80,000. So it went, I think it was just under, it was just over 2 million CPU. So it's now bumped it up to over, because it's 80,000. So, oops. So yeah, be careful with that sort of thing. But that's what we wanted. Now, oh yeah, and have you guys seen this, like, wait, what's going on here? Why is it not? Oh, they changed it. It was doing this thing where it was like... doing some very strange motions. Guess it doesn't do it now though. Okay. Anyway, let's go down here, and in the hangar bay, we'll just drop down our deconstructor block. So we put it this way, and as you can see, it is taking 18.91 kilowatts, which is a lot of power. Now it's down to 8.9, so we need to keep that off as much as possible. But it functions as we want it to. Energy in is 10 kilowatts, 500 watts idle, and 50,000 CPU. So, oh yeah, sorry, with the radar, if we go in here to pilot it, you can see that we have the deep space radar here. And so it's 12,000 meters is the range for this detector, and 250,000 range for the deep space radar. Okay. So other things, let's see. Yeah, we can get it to function by we have so this is a ScriptDeconstructor, and then we have the LCD for the decon thing. So as you see, we turn it on and it lights up, turns on, and this is going. You can see it's scrolling through the different ships looking for something to deconstruct. We turn it off and it stops, and this turns off as well. Should do. Yeah, so it's off. Then we switch it on and it's on. on, active, and consuming a whole lot of energy. Oops. Yep. So, yeah, if you did that, if you don't know how to do that, you set up the two things. I have the recycler here, and then I set up a decon. The lever here is signal logic. It's called decon. So I set up a circuit. So you have an OR circuit, recycler or decon, signal 1, and then see this one just follows signal 1, and here also follows signal 1, and then they both turn on, turn off, that sort of thing. Easy. Okay. All right. So I hope this inspires you guys to make some interesting blocks and see what they do. I'm still working on figuring out how to make the deconstructor block, the script deconstructor block, use pentaxid. I'd like to have it, consume a chunk of pentaxid when it starts deconstructing its ship, but I don't know how to do that. So if I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. Okay. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.